So, good afternoon, everyone. The chapter 16 was entitled In Gay Paris from 1889 to 1890. So, the topics that I'm about to tackle are the difficulty on finding quarters, Rizal's life in Paris, his artistic hobbies, and the two clubs founded by him. So, let's start from the topic number 1, the difficulty on finding quarter. So on May 6, 1889, the Universal Exposition was taking place in Paris. Because of it, Rizal, facing such difficulties on finding accommodation to stay due to the increasing rent implemented by the French landlord. So, in the short period of time, he lived together with his friend Valentin Ventura at number 45 Row Malbec while pursuing his annotated edition of Morga's book. After that, he finally got a small room to live with Capitan Justo Trinidad, a former gobernadorcillo of Santa Ana, Manila, and a refugee from Spanish tyranny. And of course, with Jose Alberto, a young student from Manila. So, the second topic was all about Rizal's life in Paris. So despite of the lively and festive life in Paris, Rizal kept himself busy. He spent most of his time on reading the Bibliothèque Nationale while pursuing his works of his annotated edition of Morga's book. He also used his spare time with his friends like Dr. Trinidad Pardo de Tavera, a physician and a philologist, Dr. Felix Pardo de Tavera, a physician, an artist, and a sculptor, Paz Pardo de Tavera, Juan Luna's wife, Don Joaquin Pardo de Tavera, an exile of 1872 who escaped from the Marianas and lived in France, and lastly, with Mr. Edward Boasted, who had two lovely daughters, Nelly and Adelina. Moving on with the third topic, which is Rizal's artistic hobbies. So, in Paris, he carried his artistic hobbies and used his talent, capability, and skills for doing such tasks. He made about two statues of himself, the beggar and the maid with a basket, which he sent to Blumenried, one of his friends, together with his artistic wallet that are made of vine in the Philippines. And lastly, Rizal founded two clubs while he lived unpermanently in Paris. It was called the Kidlat Club and the Indios Bravos Club rather. The Kidlat Club was arranged by him with his paisanos into a society called the Kidlat Club. Among the members are Antonio and Juan Luna, Gregorio, Aguilera, Fernando, Canon, Lauro Di Mayuga, Julio Lorente, Guillermo Poto, and Balderomo Rojas. According to Rizal, this 13th club will only last during Universal Exposition in Paris. And the purpose of this is to bring the youthful Filipinos together in the French capital to enjoy the said Universal Exposition. The Indios Bravos, on the other hand, means the brave Indians. Its member pledged to win and exile the admiration of the foreigners, specifically the Spaniards. Its members also was taught with judo by Rizal, and they practiced the use of pistol and swords for their own protection. So, that would be all. Good afternoon again, and thank you for listening.
Rizal's outstanding achievement in Paris was the publication in 1890 of his annotated edition of Morga's Successes, which he wrote in the British Museum. It was printed by Garnier Ferris. The prologue was written by Professor Blumentritt upon the request of Rizal. He frankly censured Rizal for two things. First is commits the same error of many historians in appraising the events of the past in the light of present standards. And the second is attacks on the church were unfair and unjustified because the abuses of the friars should not be construed to mean that Catholicism is bad. In this case, he chose to annotate and publish Morga's work because it was the best of the many histories of the Philippines written by the early Spanish writers. So Rizal dedicated this work to the Filipino people. In this work, Rizal proved that the Filipinos were already civilized before the advent of Spain. So that means that in that stage, we are already in advancement of our social and cultural development before tayo nasakop ng mga Spaniards rather. Rizal blasted the historical heresies of the Spanish writers who claimed that the early Filipinos were savages. So, may mga author din or may mga writers din na nagbabadmouth sa mga Filipino noon. So, this edition has been published so that the people would know of their glorious past, the Filipino people would know. And that's all.
Good day, everyone. Today, I'm about to report the two magnificent projects of Rizal in Paris. So, we have the International Association of Filipinologists, then the Modern Filipino College in Hong Kong. So first, we have the International Association of Filipinologists. So, the aim of this association is to study the Philippines in historical and scientific views. It was established in 1889 in Paris by the Bohemian scientist Dr. Ferdinand Blumentritt and our very own national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. It was a self-recognized convention because it was never accredited and recognized by the French. This was due to the incoming of the International Exposition in 1889. This association was created because of the strong belief of our very own national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, that every Filipino deserved to be free. Our second project is the Modern Filipino College in Hong Kong. So the aim of this project is to train and educate men of good family and financial means in accordance with the demands of modern times and circumstances. So this the Filipino College in Hong Kong had these several subjects, which is the ethics, religion, natural law, physics and chemistry, natural history, geography, political economy, universal history, Philippine history, logic, rhetoric, and poetics, Spanish, English, French, German, Chinese, and Tagalog. We also had the officers for the International Association of Filipinologists. So we have the president, Dr. Ferdinand Blumentritt, an Austrian, the vice president, Mr. Edmond Plachet, a French, the councilors, Dr. Reinhold Ross, an Anglo-German, and Dr. Antonio Maria Regidor, a Filipino-Spanish, and the secretary, our very own Dr. Jose Rizal. So that's all for my report regarding with the two magnificent projects of Rizal in Paris. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My report is about Port Filipino. Port Filipino is a play written by national hero Rizal. It discussed social issues and plans for the Philippines by two Proyas. It was published in 1889 as a reply to prior named Father Salvador Font in connection to his discrimination about Noli Me Tangere and for initiating the banning of Noli in the fall of 1889. The first pamphlet was printed in Barcelona under the authorship of Di Masalang. Portolipono is a satirical comedy about Father Font, who was at Madrid speaking with his provincial priest, is in Augustine Monastery using a telepono line that is spearheaded by the transoceanic telephone code. Portolipono is full of symbolism. It unveils how Prias lived their lives and how they give thanks for the donation of given by Ilustrados. Every line that has been uttered in Madrid is like an echo that fills the corners of the Philippines. By telephones by the Masalang or Jose Rizal, his article. Rizal writes as if the future and irony condemns the rule of the Prias in his day. Rizal sent his manuscript to Mariano Ponce, and under his direction, it was published in Barcelona in 1889 by Father Salvador Font, and Ponce's third censored Rizal's knowledge location is really good. That's all.
Good day to everyone. My name is Anna Jane Sasil and I am here to continuously report the topic which is in chapter 16 in Gay Paris 1889. So there are reasons why Rizal's marriage did not prosper. So there is a story which is Rizal met two lovely ladies who is Nelly and Adelina. They are both sisters. And Nelly had a lover who is named Antonio Luna. Antonio Luna and Rizal had a conflict because Antonio Luna thought that Rizal was in love with Nelly, but unfortunately, Rizal was not in love with Nelly, and Adelina was the one who he is into. So, Adelina is declining the proposal of Rizal because he is not sure that Rizal really loved her because of his broken engagement with Leonor Rivera. And Rizal also did not accept the condition of him being in a Protestant group or being in Protestants, because we all know that Rizal is a religious person and is very devoted to his church, which is in Catholic. And the last reason is that Nelly's mother did not want Rizal because he is not rich enough to support a family in style, because Adelina's mother is an ambitious person. And the Christmas in Paris. So in December 25, 1889, Jose Rizal has a friend which is Jose Albert. Jose Albert decided to go on a dinner with Rizal one last time because of Rizal staying in Paris for the last time and also his last Christmas in Paris. So it was a sumptuous dinner. And after a short time, it was New Year and Rizal decided to visit London to check on his annotated edition of Morgas Sosicos and also to visit his friend, which is Gertrude Beckett, for the last time. So Gertrude Beckett was the daughter of his landlord, and he described Gertrude Beckett as a very beautiful and a very attractive person, but they are just only friends. So that would be all.